So if you've made a decision this January to give something up, these are some of the steps you may go through, or these are some of the things you may encounter during your giving it up journey. Whether you may be giving up biting your nails, or giving up cigarettes or chocolate, or giving up a person, whatever you're giving up, these are some things you may come across. So the first is you may end up feeling really punished. You may feel that you're punishing yourself. You may feel that everyone in the world who has asked you to give this up is punishing you. You may feel like random people on social media who are having all of the things that you're giving up are punishing you. And you may feel really kind of put upon and miserable. So, like all feelings, feel these feelings, acknowledge them, process them, work with them. Look at what being punished means to you. Look at how this is reminding you of other times and other situations. Look at really what's going on for you at this point. But don't shy away from it. Don't think I shouldn't feel like this. Really embrace it, and really just every now and again, just remind yourself that this isn't about punishment. This is perfectly valid. These feelings are perfectly acceptable. You don't have to shun them within yourself, but just keep reminding yourself of all the reasons why you're choosing this. And the second thing, which comes right alongside punishment, is shame. That feeling of, how did I let it get to this stage? How did I let it get this bad? How did I let it become all of this? And again, feel those feelings. Don't invalidate them, don't push them away, but be really kind of compassionate towards them. So the enemy of shame really is empathy. The enemy of shame is understanding and loving. So be really kind to yourself, and be, when this comes up, how did I let this happen? Why did I get to this? Why am I hurting all of these people? Come straight back with that kindness. Come straight back with that, but I was doing my best. And think of it in terms of, how you would talk to somebody else. And really just work through these feelings, and just don't let them overtake you. So we're not pushing them away, we're not repressing them, but we're fighting shame with empathy, with love, with kindness. We're coming straight back and neutralizing it. But it's perfectly reasonable to feel these feelings, and actually for a lot of people, the thing that you may be giving up may have been something that actually helped you to deal with these shame feelings. So it may have been something that your brain and your subconscious used as a comfort. So recognize that when you feel this, and when you work through these feelings of shame, you may find that you're driven more to want to do the thing that you want to give up. So this is completely normal, and understanding that this may come will help you in that process. And then you might get the cravings and the kickback response. So cravings, if you have a physical addiction, are obviously completely normal. This is something that you may go through, and there are medical help. There are things that you can do to lessen physical cravings when you're physically addicted to something. But even if there's no physical addiction, your brain will want to go back to doing things the way that it always did. And actually, if you've got a part of you that really is holding on to this thing that you're trying to give up, that kickback might be really strong. It might be really sort of putting you in a position where you're now doing it more than you ever have. So you may find that I tried to give up cigarettes and now I'm smoking double. I tried to give up chocolate, but now I'm eating lots of donuts instead, and I'm not sure that's any better for me. So that kickback response is really, really normal. It's part of your brain fighting back. So we're going to go with it. We're going to work with it. We're going to be, okay, if this is what you're doing, there is a reason. And we're going to really look into it, and we're going to look at, what is this giving me, and why is my brain now fighting against it? So we're going to really lean into those feelings of need, really lean into that feelings of, doing it more, the behavior getting worse, and really looking at what the root of this is. Why does your body, why does your brain want to hold on to this? What is it giving you? And the action of you doing it more gives you the opportunity to work through this more. And then you have the, okay, but one's okay brigade, or it's just a little bit, or well, next year it will be different, or like, oh well, you're only going to go back to it in a few weeks. And this is because other people really hate change too. Their subconscious doesn't want you to change, because if you change, it makes it more obvious that maybe part of them would like to as well. But it also means that they feel shame in what they do if you've always smoked with them, if you've always drank with them, by then saying, I'm not going to anymore. It shines a huge light on them. So you will get kickback from your friends, and it's about really enforcing those boundaries and really enforcing that, no, actually I'm not going to do that. No, one is not okay. This is my choice, and this is why I'm making this choice. And I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. That's absolutely fine. But this is the decision I've made. But you will find that just like part of your subconscious is going to kick back, part of your friendship group and your family will also start kicking back too. And then there's that dreaded routine where you are doing fine, everything's brilliant, and then for some reason you just get up in the morning and you light a cigarette and you go, why did I do this? Or you go to the shop and you buy alcohol, or you buy chocolate, or there's cakes on the table and you eat the cakes, or you realise sort of 10 minutes into your favourite TV programme you've been biting your nails the whole time and you didn't even realise you were doing it. Routine and things that remind you of that is part of the subconscious, so it will sometimes forget. And using things like hypnosis means that you can reprogram at a subconscious level, but you still may every now and again get this weird kind of routine bounce back where you try and do something that you haven't done for 10 years or you haven't done for 2 years, and that's perfectly fine. Just literally be like, oh, oops, that's not what I do. I'm doing something else. If you allow that shame spiral to come in, if you allow those feelings of failure to start rearing their heads, that's going to make things worse. So just be like, oh well, carry on. I just won't do it next time. You haven't failed if you accidentally go back. If it's just once and you recognise it, that's not a failure. It's just your routine fighting back. And the final thing you might find is that you completely have lost your comfort. So the habit may be something that's comforted you for a really long time. It might be something that every time you feel a sense of needing that comfort, needing your self-soothing, you go to that thing. It may feel like losing a best friend. It will feel like an attachment wound because that thing has given you attachment soothing for a very long time. So feeling that sense of grief, feeling that sense of I don't know how to soothe myself now is completely normal. And what we do is we replace the habit with something else, something that's less damaging, something that we can work with. You may replace it with several things. Having people around that you can talk to as well will really help. So having people that you can just sort of message and say, hey, I'd like some comfort, hey, do you have some time? Asking friends and family for hugs. These are all really good things that you can do. But just be aware, you may be, when you give up this habit, losing a real sense of comfort and self-soothing. And that's perfectly normal. So don't worry when you feel this way. Just look at where else can you get that comfort from now instead. And if you can put that in place before you start giving it up, then all the better. So I hope this has helped. I do, as part of this channel, also have a series of 6 steps to giving up. So you can work through these all individually if you choose.